Welcome to Light the Path, the podcast that brings you inspiring stories of courage, strength, and faith. Listen in as we explore how God's love and grace can inspire and motivate us to overcome life's challenges and light the path forward.
Hello, Pathfinders. Welcome back to another episode of Light the Path podcast. I'm your host, Queen Cole, and I am so glad you're here to continue this conversation because this is near and dear to my heart, okay? Until I'm not single anymore. But what I want to talk about today, I want to continue the conversation. And guess what? I've heard y'all. I've been listening. I've been getting the DMs and I've been getting the comments. And guess what? We have a gentleman on the line today, okay? And we're going to be talking about being single and ready to mingle, okay? Because I love to hear the guy's perspective, right? Because that's important. If we want to be in community with gentlemen, then we need to know how they think. We need to know, the ins and outs of their personality. So today I have a distinguished gentleman with me, Eddie. He's going to help me navigate this conversation, single, ready to mingle. So help me welcome Eddie to Light the Path podcast.
How you doing there? Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. I'm so thankful that you came on because I can get women all day, right, on the pod. I can get them talking. I mean, we can go for hours. And how the song go? And hours and hours and hours talking about, conversing about the dating pool, dating and all that. And so it's rare. And I'm so thankful for you coming on today to be able to talk about dating, being single, all the things. So I want to read a quick stat here because I don't want people to think they're alone in this single game because there are more than 127 million single people 18 years and older living in America. This is according to the U.S. Census. And so that's about 40% of the nation that's saying they're single. So, Eddie, I want to start it off asking you, how long have you been officially single? And when we say single, everybody, because as I was going to put this in context, as I was going down my list of guys to ask and talk to, I was like, I know a lot of guys that are in situationships. They're either living with somebody which is still unmarried, right? Even if you have a house together and you got cars and assets, you're still unmarried. So how long, Eddie, have you been officially single?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been out of a relationship since September.
Okay, September 2023?
Yes.
Okay, so that's coming up on a year here, give or take a few. So do you cringe when people ask you, why are you single? Because, I mean, I've met you in real life before, and you're a pretty cool guy. You're charismatic. You dress well. You like to have fun. Do you cringe when people ask you, why are you single?
I wouldn't really say that, no. And honestly, I think it's a lot because we don't tend to get asked that very much, or at least I don't. I might be asked if I'm in a relationship, but what tends to happen is I think they tend to see that you don't have a ring on your hand and you're fair game from there. So I wouldn't say that question gets asked a lot. It's more so they either shoot their shot or they don't shoot their shot.
I don't know about shooting my shot. Now I'm going to make sure that the gym lights are on, that the ball rack is loaded, but I'm not going to shoot my shot. Do you prefer a woman to shoot her shot or just make it known that she's approachable?
I think if you've been around women a while, you kind of understand when they're shooting a shot without physically or maybe literally saying it. So, the playing with the hair, the touching your arm, making conversation when they don't have to. And I think most importantly, making time for you when it's an optional thing for them. A lot of guys miss on that. I think that we don't necessarily need a woman to say, hey, are you single? Or, hey, do you want to go out for a drink? If they're spending their time on you, that means they're interested in you typically. So I wouldn't say that we need you to. I would say it's definitely can be scary in a public setting because of the way that we get treated on TikTok or treated on social media. If we shoot a shot and miss it, sometimes it comes off creepy. So it helps, okay, but it's not necessary.
Okay, I guess too, because nobody likes rejection. So let's just say that. I mean, because I know guys get a harder rap for rejection than women do, but I think it's all scary for everybody. And that's what my last guest was saying, that she's just nervous about the whole dating scene. And so my next question for you would be, are you making dating a priority since you're almost close to a year? Are you making dating a priority?
Yeah, I will say this: dating is not a priority, but happiness is right now. So what I mean by that is, I think a lot of times when I went into relationships, I was looking at the obligation to fulfill something that I thought I needed, which was a relationship. When I think what I should have been looking for was fulfilling happiness, both for myself and for my partner. So if that happens to come along while I'm on the journey to find out what makes me happy and what makes somebody else happy, then I'm very open to it. But I am not rushing it. I'll put it that way.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that was one of my main, I guess, concerns with myself when I started this whole series. Like, oh, I started writing down a list like, why am I single? And the number one thing was that I'm not making dating a priority, like, because I'm like doing all these other things. But it sort of alludes to what you're saying, like things that make me happy, things that are fulfilling for me, things that are ultimately part of my purpose. And so I didn't I didn't realize it, but then on the other hand, I did, because I'm like, I ain't going on no date.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, shooting your shot. If somebody comes up to you and asks you what makes you happy or talks about your hobbies, that kind of organically leads into something like that, right? So you shouldn't really have to, I guess what I would say, and I might be wrong on this, but I think when you try to make it a priority, you're almost overstepping what's organically possible, in my opinion. But also I could see people not putting themselves out there at all, making it hard to find something. So
Yeah, because I mean, you've seen the memes before that saying, I'm waiting on my husband, and then you don't go anywhere, you don't do anything, you go from, work to home, or, church to home. And I mean, you get Amazon packages, but you like looking out like, just leave it out. You ain't trying to go out. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you need to make it a priority, but if you have plans to meet other people, if you don't want to necessarily do things alone, then you
yeah,
can't
I could.
just be isolated.
Yeah, I could see that. I think saying, are you making dating a priority might be a misnomer. I think what more importantly it is are you making socializing a priority, right? Are you putting yourself out there to be available to other people, or are you even available yourself to be out there, right? So definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember when I met you, not met you, but when I first saw you,
Careful. Careful.
I know,
Careful.
right? Look, because the audio listeners go like, hold on, let me go to YouTube. Let me go see
Yeah.
Eddie. Let me go. We were out. I was out with my brother. We were having a very good time, and we met your group, which was your birthday. And so that was very fun. And if I would have been in the house, I mean, because who's to say my husband wasn't there or at the next place that we went to? So I think you got to do stuff and be open to, like you said, making it organic. Like I wasn't out like, I'm meeting somebody tonight, because
Yeah.
there's that
Yeah. No,
time.
it's.
You
Yeah,
got to
you're
look.
right. But like you said, it's organic, right? So, organically the friend group ran into you guys, and we asked you guys to come hang out. Funny enough, actually in that friend group were three of my exes. So, I very much so keep people in my life that, bring happiness to my life. And also people tend to come back in your life when they realize that happiness was there when they don't have it anymore. So it is kind of funny. I don't think I ever told you that before, but they were all at the same bar that we were all at where we ended up. So, but you can see how well everybody gets along.
Eddie, hold on now. You can't just slide through that. I see you drinking your Red Bull. Y'all gonna have to come over here to YouTube, watch it, Eddie. He drinking his Red Bull. He's saying this very casually,
Wow.
like three of the
Yeah,
people. It was
three.
only four people there. Four.
Yeah. Still working on the fourth one. What can I say? No, yeah, that's one of them is my son's mother. Another one's from high school. We recently started, talking, and another one was just from a previous relationship. So, it was just one of those things where when you're focused on happiness and you make your understandings very clear, you make your expectations very clear, it's a lot easier for people to hang out and understand that jealousy doesn't have to be a thing when everybody's on the same page. If you're seeking a certain type of personality, you're going to attract that personality across multiple people. But then that also ends up turning into a really good friend group too, because they share that personality trait, right? They're all selfless people. They're all they're all givers. They're all, very happy-go-lucky. They don't take things too seriously. A lot of it was just circumstances didn't work out with timing. So, no hard feelings there. It was mutual on both sides. So we're all able to hang out and have a good time.
And they all know this. They all know the history. You're the common denominator here.
Oh, hell no. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, they do. I never thought about the fact that they might not all know. Yes, they all know. But that, I wish I was that clever, but I am not. Nor do I wish to be. I'm a very honest and transparent person. I don't think I've told a lie in like 2 years. So hard as that might be.
So with you navigating these different relationships that you've had, is there anything that you've learned, any kind of like relationship skill that has been like, you know what, I didn't know this with the girl in high school, but I found this out with my child's mom?
Yeah, I would say that any relationship that you say you didn't learn something from, you probably didn't put enough effort into. And a couple things that really helped me, I'll give you a couple examples. Number one, active listening is a trait that I didn't realize I was not doing. So listening without the intent to respond. If you're thinking about what your response is while the other person's talking, you're not listening. And a lot of times the conversation can be immediately shut down because the only things you heard were the first 3 words, and you didn't actually hear how that person was feeling. The second major thing is something I learned along the ways of my professional career, which is everything is your fault. And that might sound really silly, that might sound really crass, but what you need to think about is you have control over everything you do in your life all the time, always, whether you know it or not. So in a relationship, that really helps because if a person's upset, whether or not you feel like you owe them an apology or whether or not you feel like it was your fault, at the end of the day, you made them feel that way. Whether you meant to or not, whether you think it's justified or not, doesn't matter. Because if you really love somebody, you care about the way they feel right now, not the way that it hurts you that they thought you made them feel that way. So that's really helped as well. The last thing is, and I think the most important thing is setting your own boundaries is not meant to hurt the other person. It's meant to keep you from resenting the other person over time. So if something is a non-negotiable for you, if you're not willing to set that boundary, you're doing them a disservice. You're not helping the relationship by stopping playing video games. If it's not detrimental to the relationship and you wouldn't mind the other person doing it, at the end of the day, that's okay. It's just going to hurt longer down the road. It might not be tomorrow. It might be easier to put the video games down and go watch that TV with them while they play on their phone right now. But down the road, you're going to be pissed that you can't go play with the boys, right? So set your boundaries, stick to your boundaries, and understand that it's okay for them to do the same thing.
Those are really good ones. I love hearing you talk like this. See, y'all saying, guys, come on now. I'm just saying, and this is not a science experiment. I did not pump Eddie up with these great words or lines. This is all from his own brain, big brain. And so there are people out there that are doing the work, have done the work. And so I appreciate hearing that. So what would you say, though, as far as your expectations? Because almost 1 year being single officially, you saying you're focused on your happiness. What are your expectations? Are they realistic for remarrying or recommitting yourself?
Yeah, I would say since I started this journey, since I focused on a couple different things, and I think there's one more that's really helped a lot, and I'll touch on it here in a second, but I think since I focused on some of the things I've talked about, the option to get married has never been higher. I'll put it that way. So the people that want to sign up for somebody who is doing those things, I feel like has been better than just constantly looking and, being flirty with girls or anything like that. Just being confident in yourself and your self-esteem has went way further than walking up to a girl at the bar, The last thing is, I will say that I should have probably mentioned was learning what control means in a relationship has probably been the most effective thing, whether it's in a friendship or a relationship. What it is to me now versus what it was 20 years ago is way different. It used to be jealousy. It used to be send me your location. It used to be let me know when you get there, not because I want to know because I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That just kind of turned into, let me know what makes you happy, and I'm going to make you so happy that you don't want to leave. Right. And if you do want to leave after I've done everything I can, then maybe I wasn't the right person for you. So that's been a big part of it too. And I think women tend to find that attractive in its own. A guy that's not constantly trying to chat with them, trying to make sure that you're available when they're available, things like that. So I don't think it's been difficult per se, but maybe just because I haven't been looking for it, it's been easier to find.
Yes, I think that's too. I think that goes back to what we were talking about previously about just things happen organically. So if I am out on the greens golfing, I mean, I'm not necessarily, I'm looking cute now. Okay. Hold up. I got my outfit on. I got my stuff right. I'm doing my thing. However, but if nobody approached me, I'm not going to feel like, this was a waste of time. I'm still having a good time. I may chat with some guys, riding around, the course and all that. So I think that's important to have that organic flow of things, so that way okay, this could be something. So that way, instead of just like forcing it, like, okay, if you ain't getting married and you ain't gonna make me happy, then I don't want it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to get married?
I think if you ask me that right now, my answer is no. But I
Okay.
think deep down, at the end of the day, what I do crave is monogamy more than anything else. I crave happiness and happiness and sharing that with someone. So it's easy to say no when you're fresh out of a relationship where you feel like it could have went somewhere, and the other person might have lost that. There's a sense of hopelessness that comes with that, I think, after any long relationship has failed or after multiple long relationships have failed, no matter whose that's on, no matter what. So I wouldn't say I crave marriage. I definitely crave sharing the journey with somebody.
Okay, I can respect that because it hasn't been that long. I think you need a year unattached, right? Even if you've been single before. Previously,
Yeah.
when I was married for 17 years, and so I was a year off, like nobody, just nothing, right? And so I needed that time to be able to say, okay, what do I like? What do I want to do? What makes me happy, right? Because I didn't
Yeah.
know, because I'm all doing
Yep.
all stuff that I'm thinking is making somebody else happy, when ultimately happiness is an inside job. So
Yeah.
I'm not God. I can't make you happy. I'm not a taco. I can't make you happy.
Yeah. Right.
I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
God.
And that's not your obligation either, right? I think a lot of people lose their happiness because their partner might make them feel obligated to be their source of happiness. That's a hard job. And that's a hard job. And I do remember when somebody asked me when I was still married, one of my best friends, she said, "What makes you happy? Go do that for a day," because I had the day off. And I was like, "Dude, I don't remember." Like, I honestly don't remember.
You have no
I used to do
clue.
a
You
bunch
have
of
no
stuff,
clue.
but yep. And then that's not my partner's fault sometimes, you just lose it just getting invested and selling yourself to somebody, and it's the way it goes.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. So, what do you think the number one reason why you are single right now?
Um, I think it's a lack of well, two things. Number one, I don't think it's fair to put somebody else in a relationship with me right now, because my hope that someone else can be as selfless as me and be as emotionally invested in somebody as me is not there right now. And that might be selfish to say, that might be conceited to say, but it's been proven right in the past. So my brain is currently like, well, why are we investing in people that have shown they can't match that level of investment, right? That's one of them. And then number two is just, I mean, I've been single once, and this is currently it since I was 12, right? So maybe the reason why these relationships keep failing is I don't spend enough time looking for what actually interests me or what actually motivates me to be with somebody. I look at what motivates me right now, and I don't look enough long term. So I'm trying to do some work on myself. I think that has mostly to do with it.
I think that's fair. I think that's admirable to do that. I think that everybody, once you get out of a relationship, you need time. I'm saying 1 year, but I think 1 year is like the blueprint. So then you start realizing, okay, I want to do this. I like this. And then maybe 3 years, then you say, okay, I'm ready to maybe share space and my time and all that. So right now, if I say, Eddie, are you single, ready to mingle? The answer is yes. Or is
Yeah,
it
I think
no?
you got to make me happier than I am by myself. That's a hard ask right now. That is a hard ask right now. I am actively looking for people that I can share happiness with. I just spoke with a girl yesterday, and she's like, if you're looking for friends with benefits, that's not really me. And I said, honestly, I'm just looking for somebody to go to the dog park with that I can share a coffee with, and we just have a good time. Then we can go out on the lake with my friend group. Maybe I can visit your friend group. Like, I'm ready to mingle. I don't know if I'm ready to sign up for something right now, but I am looking for people that can make me happy and that I can make happy.
Okay, and that's fair. And I think that's very important because that you say it out the gate. Like you're
Yeah.
not mixing words. You're not saying, well, maybe in 2 weeks or not even, I mean, nobody says a date, but like, you're not like, well, the possibility is that you're not giving that. You're actually giving like, this is what I'm on right now. Like if you want to come be on my boat, then yeah. But if not, then I'm still going on my boat. I'm still going to be happy. And then I'm just going to get another friend to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say, in the 8 or so months, I'm not gonna say that feelings haven't gotten hurt, but a lot of times, what that required is me to look back and say, okay, I didn't set those boundaries or properly at first, or maybe I didn't reestablish the boundaries, or more importantly, and most often, what it is I didn't reinforce that person's feelings enough for how I made them feel. So if we did hang out a lot, if we did have a lot of fun, and somebody else comes along and they see me having fun on social media, a lot of times I realize that jealousy comes from me not reaching out to that person and telling them how important they are to me, and that one other person is not going to remove them from my life. So it's also taught me how to keep friendships better. And then hopefully when I am ready to not be single, it'll help me keep that relationship a little less toxic as well.
Okay, well, that is really good. Now, do you want to share where people can follow you on social media, or you're going to be anonymous?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty easy to find. So my social media handle on everything is officially Eddie. So officially _ Eddie. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat. What else do kids have these days? TikTok. You can find my dog on TikTok. I'm going to be the guy wearing the Google shirt and a black and white photo. I referee on the side. So if you'll see the referee pictures and stuff like that, you'll see the nice golden retriever pictures. That's about all I take pictures of. So, but yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Snap, TikTok, the whole 9 yards.
All right, there y'all have it. Another episode of Light the Path. And remember that sharing our experiences is not only empowering, but it can help